When you vote, you are a citizen yourself.
Are you a non-citizen in the state of Washington looking to participate in the civic structure of your new home? Green card, temporary work or student status, criminal record, or simply utter lack of documentation holding you back from achieving your dreams? Well, stay tuned because this information may be right for you. Just follow these easy steps and you'll be voting like a real US citizen in no time. Step 1. Get a driver's license. Don't have the requisite documentation to get a driver's license in the state of Washington? No problem. State law RCW 46.20.035 states that the Department of Licensing may waive identification requirements as long as it finds that other documentation clearly establishes the identity of the applicant. That's right. The person working at the Department of Licensing can waive the entire law if they feel that they have enough evidence to establish your identity. Surely, you can find someone within the Department of Licensing that recognizes you personally. That person is probably in Seattle. Step 2. Get a social security number. You may not be aware, but social security numbers are readily available for purchase on a variety of locations on the internet. Please check out these fine and reputable vendors if you are in need of options. Step 3. Fill out the Washington State Voter Registration Form. First, include your new driver's license and social security number. Second, make sure that you say that you're a citizen. Third, sign your name verifying that the facts you filled out are true. There you have it. You have filled out your voter registration form, and all that is left is for you to send it in. According to RCW 29A.08.107, if your driver's license or last 4 digits of your social security number match, then you're good to go and must be registered to vote by the Secretary of State. That's right. The entirety of your social security number does not need to match, only the last 4 digits. Step 4. Just can't get a valid driver's license or social security number? Not to worry. RCW 29A.08.107 maintains that if you send in the Washington voter registration form, even if both your driver's license and social security number don't match, you must be provisionally registered to vote. Once provisionally registered, you'll be sent an identification notice, which you need returned with only one of the following. A. Valid photo identification. B. Tribal ID. C. A copy of a current utility bill. D. A bank statement. E. A copy of a current government check. F. A copy of a current paycheck. Or G. A government document that shows both the name and address of the voter. That's right. Do you have a utility bill or a bank statement? That's good enough to vote in Washington. Send one of those suckers right in and your voter's registration card will be right on its way to your doorstep. Step 5. No hablas español? No problemo. RCW 29A.08.270 states that the Secretary of State shall provide voter information in foreign languages required of state agencies. So unless you're speaking Martian, we've got you covered. Step 6. Worried you'll get caught? Don't worry too much. The Secretary of State does not track citizenship and state law does not require proof of citizenship to register to vote. Just a utility bill. Registering to vote when not a citizen is a Class C felony, which can land you up to 5 years in prison or up to a $10,000 fine. But do you really need to be concerned about this? Just how would you get caught? Who knows? There is no state law which directs the Secretary of State or even the Attorney General to actively look for non-citizens registered to vote. Step 7. Is there anyone to worry about then? Only your neighbor. That's right, if your good-for-nothing, nosy, and actually a citizen neighbor suspects that there is something fishy about your voting, assuming that he could ever figure out that you are voting to begin with, RCW's 29A.08.810 to 850 detail how your voter registration can be challenged by this pesky neighbor. Oh yes, and The county prosecutor can technically do it too, but let's be honest. When is the last time he has actually done that? Step 8. Oh no, what do I do if my voter registration is challenged? Nothing! RCW 29A.09.810 states that your voter registration, aka your utility bill, is presumptive evidence that you have the right to vote. The burden of proof is on the challenger, not you. The challenger must A. File a signed affidavit subject to penalty of perjury that you are not qualified to vote, and B. Provide the factual basis for his challenge, and C. Attend the hearing assigned to the case and argue it himself without any help from the government. All documents pertaining to the challenge will become public record, meaning your challenger's information is open to the public to do with what they will. If the challenger were somehow to successfully find out that you were voting, obtain factual basis for his challenge, and properly submit it, thereby becoming a public record, he would be the one who has to show up to court to make his case. Naturally, you would think voting as a non-citizen would be a crime against the state that the state itself would follow up with to investigate, but not in Washington. If he, the challenger, is unable to make the hearing, the facts would be decided by the county canvassing board, and I'm sure they're qualified for the job. Step 9. Okay, so what if all of that actually happens to me? Technically, the Attorney General is supposed to get involved. Even then, not to worry, as you can see from this website, which tracks voter fraud convictions, there has not been a single convicted case of voter fraud in 10 years in Washington state. That sounds safe enough to go looking for that utility bill to me. And just like that, you too can be a voter in Washington state.
Freedom Washington does not condone, support, or otherwise suggest illegally registering to vote or illegal voting. Illegally registering to vote is a Class C felony that is punishable by up to 5 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Or, it would be if anyone was ever charged. To be honest, whether or not Freedom Washington does or does not condone anything, you probably will not get caught if you illegally register to vote. According to Judicial Watch, Washington state has 168,891 more registered voters than it does adult citizens, with 0 fraudulent cases caught in the last 10 years. Please vote responsibly.